Welcome back, everyone, to this week's edition of The Outlier. I'm Sam Kukulis.
And I'm Mike Smith. We begin with a developing story of a student who suddenly vanished in New Jersey.
College of New Jersey tennis star Paige Aiello was last seen 2 days ago. The NYPD continues to search the water around the George Washington Bridge since her purse, wallet, and phone were found on the deck of the bridge Thursday night.
She commutes to her college 30 miles away and was last seen around 1 o'clock in the afternoon when her father drove her home from a class. At around 3 p.m., her mother noticed her 2006 gray Audi A4 was taken without permission and Paige never returned home. Police found the car in a parking garage near a train station in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Aiello is a white female 5'3" with brown hair, and today is her 22nd birthday. Authorities don't believe any foul play took place, but the investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is urged to call the Hillsborough Township Police Department at 908-369-4323.
This week, President Obama submitted his budget proposal to Congress. Contrary to what some people may tell you, he's actually done this each year of his presidency. It's just been a little late most of the time. The budget is really more of a request. The president will submit his plan to Congress and they will decide how the money is spent. There are 3 parts to the proposal: how much the government spends and on what, how much revenue the government collects, and how much the deficit or surplus will be as a result. The president's 2014 fiscal budget calls for cuts in entitlements like Medicare and Social Security by $100 billion, which Democrats are not too happy about. The budget also wants to raise taxes on the wealthy, which Republicans are not too happy about, bringing in about $1 trillion over the next 10 years. Education is actually getting a boost in funding. Preschools will get an extra $78 billion paid for by a 94-cent tax increase on cigarettes. Ain't that something? All in all, $1.8 trillion is planned to be cut from the deficit over 10 years.
Rumor has it that Apple is to introduce a 60-inch television with a remote control you wear as a ring on your finger. Sources say the iRing would enable more precise control by waving your hand at the motion-sensing device. The TV could cost as much as $3,000 with the extended features, and no one can be sure what Apple has in store until more evidence surfaces. Although rumors point out the Apple iTV is set to make an appearance later in the year.
I'm always so eager to see what Apple has up its sleeves. On another note, there's a lot of talk about North Korea launching a nuclear weapon. It was just reported they may attach the nuclear weapons to ballistic missiles. What that means is the short-range nuke is strapped to a high-altitude, long-range missile that could potentially reach us, not land in the ocean as it would have. This is actually a big development. Good news for us, we have this thing called the Aegis combat system with the Navy. What this does is calculate within seconds the path of a missile. If it decides the missile is aiming for land, it'll take it out. It's a lot like Israel's Iron Dome, which gained a lot of attention during the Israeli-Palestinian conflict recently. But are we safe? This is kind of scary stuff, and the simple answer is yes, of course we are. Depending on who you ask, we have more than 2,000 ready nuclear warheads. North Korea, they have about 10. If this turns into a game of I'll show you mine if you show me yours, North Korea will quickly forfeit and game, set, match.
After hanging underground for 17 years, billions of flying cicadas are due to sweep over the East Coast sometime in the next month. The outbreak is expected to start in the Carolinas in April and make way to New York by early June. The critters have been maturing underground, and when the temperature reaches about 64 degrees Fahrenheit, the insects will rise up, emerge from their shells, take wing, and look for mates. The bugs are harmless to humans, although a sky-darkening swarm and ominous buzzing can be a bit unsettling.
That's just gross. With a look at the other headlines from the week, we turn now to MARIAH HURST with your PDQ News.
Thanks, Mike. Dylan Quick, a 20-year-old student, is being accused of stabbing 14 people at Lone Star College in Texas. Quick is under suicide watch at Harris County Jail and may suffer from a possible psychiatric disorder. He's in a lockdown facility after expressing to police how he's fantasized about stabbing people since he was a child. 55-year-old Lauren Brown called in a false 911 emergency in order to lure 4 firefighters into a hostage situation. Brown was to face eviction and held the men at gunpoint, demanding that the utilities in his home be restored. The 3.5-hour standoff ended in Brown being shot dead by a SWAT officer. Facebook is releasing a new software for Android phones April 12th called Home that will allow your Facebook friends to take center stage on your home screen. The software is designed to connect with your Facebook friends and constantly update you with pictures, statuses, and messages from friends. In other social media news, the IRS reportedly plans to collect personal information from social media sites like Facebook and Twitter. These, quote, social media spies are attempting to track tax cheats and are well within their investigative rights to pursue what you make public. 22-year-old Alexander Heights was killed in a car accident in an attempt to text and drive. His parents have released the image of the message that took their son's life. His mother hopes that the unfinished text message will be a lesson to prevent texting and driving. A New York cardiologist has admitted to misdiagnosing 80% of patients with heart problems so that he could collect millions in extra Medicare money. Dr. Jose Katz's scheme acquired over $19 million over the span of 8 years. Katz could face up to 10 years in prison on the conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud charges. At least 2 people were killed and over 40 were hospitalized when a charter bus overturned on a North Texas highway. The bus contained mainly senior citizens en route to a casino in Oklahoma. The Serbian veteran suspected of killing 13 people in a shooting rampage turned the gun on himself. Authorities are still investigating what the cause of the shootout was, seeing as the vet had no criminal record. Funerals for the 13 people are being held tomorrow.
Thanks, Mariah. ASU is having a problem with bees.
Beads.
Bees?
Beads.
Beads?
Bees, Job. Bzz. Both in Tempe and the Polytech campuses. Advisory emails were sent out warning students of the swarms. But since you mentioned it, it's been announced there will be 15 new episodes for the 4th season of Arrested Development. It's set to be released all at once on May 26th. Posters have been made amping up the excitement. They all have images correlated with a particular character, all of who will be back for the summer. The last episode aired 7 years ago.
With a check of what's hot right now on the internet, we turn to Marina Beach with What's Trending.
Thanks, Sam. It's more than likely you've seen Lindsay Lohan break down in court. Tuesday night, Lohan appeared on Letterman where she talked about her upcoming court-ordered rehab. What should have been an emotionally difficult interview turned into a lighthearted and comedic conversation. Letterman drilled Lohan with difficult questions, but instead of taking them seriously, she shot back with some jokes. Check out this part of the interview.
Aren't you supposed to be in rehab now?
Do you not watch anything that goes on?
I do.
A tabloid now?
Now here's what
May 2nd.
I was under the May 2nd.
Yes.
And how long will you be in rehab?
3 months.
Now, do you have addiction problems?
Now you sound like Dr. Phil.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Is it like alcohol? Do you drink too much?
We've discussed this in the past.
Oh, did we really? When did we discuss
Well,
it?
because
See, I'm the one who's having the blackouts. What does that say?
I'm just saying.
I ought to be in rehab, for the love of God.
Seattle Mariners fans got more than they paid for during last night's game against the Houston Astros when a fan caught a foul ball in the beer cup. The fan then raised his cup and chugged proudly, exciting the crowd. Here's the game's top play on video.
Popped up and it's out there. Smoking a 0-2 hole. Caught it in his beer. How about that? Clean catch in the beer.
Many little boys grow up dreaming of scoring that one NCAA touchdown. For 7-year-old Jack Huffman, that dream became reality this season at the Nebraska Cornhuskers spring game. 2 years ago, a tumor almost took Jack's life, and that's when he turned to his favorite college football team for strength. During Saturday's game on 4th and short, Jack had the opportunity to take the handoff and run 69 yards for the touchdown. The youngster starts up chemotherapy again in 2 weeks, but you would never know after this astounding play.
He's got blockers out in front.
There he goes.
He's running to midfield. Listen to this crowd as Jack Hoffman, the young man that, as I mentioned, has really been adopted by this football team, just scored a touchdown.
Oh, wow. What a moment.
And both benches.
That's what's trending. Sam, back to you.
Indio, California will host over 80,000 people a day at the annual Coachella Festival. The 3-day music event features over 180 musical acts with genres including indie, hip-hop, and electronic. The festival spans the course of 2 weekends, and this year the event sold out in less than an hour. If you love music, then this bohemian euphoria is your ultimate holiday. And if you don't have a ticket, tune in to watch live on the official Coachella YouTube channel. Joining us today is Devin Conley as we discuss some questionable ASU online activity.
Thanks, Sam. Recently, multiple pages have appeared on Facebook to show off ASU's Pride and Wild side. These pages allow students to submit posts anonymously to admit their crazy secrets. Some of these posts on ASU Confessions page own up to fornicating with professors, bashing on Greek life, and playing nasty tricks on roommates without their knowledge. But the question is, how many of these posts are true? Or is it just students trying to be outrageously creative?
There are two sites. One of them is the ASU Misconnection, and I'm going to assume one of them is about me. It talks about a guy on the light rail, black shirt, cargo pants, piercing blue eyes, big muscles, most handsome guy she's ever seen, she says. It brightened my day, whether it's about me or not. It's kind of like, well, that's really nice of her to say. So, I mean, it's not harmful because you're complimenting them outrageously, basically. So in some cases, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I definitely think it has its pros and cons. A negative, recently there was a student that admitted to sleeping with a teacher, and that could totally jeopardize a teacher's position. So I think there's definitely a boundary. It's a give and take.
It definitely depends on which ones you're looking at. Also, it seems like a lot of students are just using the sites to bash on people and hide behind the computer screen. So it's really a matter of is this another form of cyberbullying?
Yeah, the bullying could definitely come forth.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, kids are kind of mean, and without their name attached to it, they can say anything they want, and it could get kind of scary. And it's meant to be funny, but some cases it just goes a little too far.
Yeah, definitely.
Devin, thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Devin.
These sites allow all the fun of boasting and boosting egos without the risk. But how safe is it really? Someone out there has to be keeping track of everyone's dirty little secrets. Take caution if you post. One day, those secrets might just catch up with you.
Iconic fashion designer Lilly Pulitzer died on Sunday, April 7th at the age of 81. The socialite was best known for making tropical print dresses that made her a sensation in the 60s. After opening a juice stand in Palm Beach, Florida in 1959, Pulitzer needed a patterned dress that would cover the stains of juice spills. She hung the dresses on a pipeline behind her juice stand, and for $22 a piece, they soon outsold her drinks.
There's a lot going on in the sports world, and Patrick Wagner has all that covered. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Mike. Thursday saw the first round of the most honored tournament in professional golf. The Masters tournament at Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia, looked to see an exciting 4 rounds of golf. Players like ASU grad Phil Mickelson, #2 in the world Rory McIlroy, 2012 Masters champion Bubba Watson, and the #1 player in the world Tiger Woods looked to take on a field filled with the world's best. Leading in the clubhouse after Thursday's action are Mark Leishman of Australia and Sergio Garcia of Spain, each with a score of 6 under par. Sunday saw a changing in the guard as well for Augusta National, as former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice played a practice round with 3-time Masters champion Phil Mickelson. Rice was one of the first women inducted as members of Augusta National Golf Club in August of 2012. Well, the brackets were busted and the nets have been cut. Both men's and women's basketball national champions were crowned this week. On the men's side, the Louisville Cardinal under coach Rick Pitino rallied around the horrific injury to Kevin Ware and won the title over Michigan Wolverines and Player of the Year Trey Burke 82-76. Pitino became the first coach ever to win a title with 2 different programs, as he won it with the Kentucky Wildcats in 1996. On the women's side, the UConn Huskies upended the Cinderella Louisville Lady Cardinals 93-60. UConn coach Gino Auriemma is now 8-0 in women's national title games. Good news, Arizona Diamondbacks fans. The tenants of Chase Field added more value to the already best value in Major League Baseball. This week, with an extra innings promotion, this promotion gave fans the opportunity to buy tickets, concessions, and even certain souvenir items for $5.32 during the D-backs homestand against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, you might think that is an oddly specific number. Well, it was due to the 5-hour and 32-minute 16-inning game between the D-backs and the St. Louis Cardinals last week. That was the longest in Chase Field history. Missed the Snakes this week? Don't worry about it. The 6-3 Diamondbacks take on the rival Los Angeles Dodgers this weekend at Chase Field. And that's what's happening in the world of sports. Back to you.
Thank you, Patrick. Join us next time for our final episode of the season. We have a lot in store. Until then, I'm Mike Smith.
And I'm Sam Kukulis. Remember, why be normal when you could be an outlier?